To mix the drinks that, those of you who do drink like. She grew up in a number of inner city communities and again demonstrates that with will, with a passion, and with confidence, one can achieve her goals. We thank you very much for your company. Patrice, great to have you. I mean, you're a girl who could have just been stymied by your environment, stymied by what you saw around you, the hopelessness, the despair, the many examples of failure. You decided not to be limited by your environment, by the circumstances of your birth. You're the child of a teenage mother. Father wasn't around much. Talk about that, please. Early life.
All right. Early life for me, high school life for me was a bit of a challenge.
Yes. That's Murgrove, right?
That's Murgrove.
Yes.
I moved around a lot.
What communities you live in?
I used to live in. Let's start with Spanish Town, because between Spanish Town and Kingston.
That's where you're born?
I'm from Spanish Town.
Spanish Town?
I was born in Spanish Town.
Which parts of Spanish Town?
I used to live in Comarte. I used to live at Tospen. I used to live in Rivoli. I used to live, at one point, I used to live in one of the inner city out Old Harbour, don't remember. Then come to Kingston, I used to live Bay Farm Road, Kencott, Vineyard Town, Sherlock Crescent, and most memorable living experience, the Seaview Gardens.
Yes.
That's when I had to, that's when I learned the technique of, when you hear shots outside, bathtub.
You see, you had those experiences?
Yes, those experiences. You hear shots outside, you want to ensure you're alive, make sure that you take it to the bathtub. Again in Spanish Town, I used to live Manchester Lane, so I lived in quite a few. Yes, but then, I'm from poverty. Childhood, I didn't experience a childhood that, my fellow classmates are experiencing at Murgrove, or as I say to my daughter, because my daughter, she, I don't think she appreciates the value of money, because she's living the childhood. Yeah, she's living the childhood that I
you would have wanted.
Wished I was living. Yes. My friends will even say to me that, Patrice, you're living your childhood through your daughter, and this is why you do
the things.
Yeah, the things that you
give her all the things that she wants.
Exactly. So it wasn't luxurious for me, but in order to get out, I always believed.
What primary school you attended?
I went to Horizon Park All Age, right up to grade 5.
Did you pass the?
No, I passed when I was going to Tarrant. So when I came to Kingston, remember I'm from Spanish Town.
Yes.
So when my mom left Spanish Town and come to Kingston, that was when she and my dad broke up. So she came to Kingston now. I went to Tarrant Primary.
Tarrant Primary.
So Tarrant Primary, I would see, and I always tell people, it was a good primary school, and that's a primary school that changed my life. Because that's a primary school that, when I did common entrance, I went to Murgrove.
You passed.
I didn't choose to Murgrove, I chose St. Jago and St. Catherine. Remember, I'm a Spanish school girl.
Yes.
I didn't even realize that I passed my common entrance until in the evening. Because, you don't see a name on the St. Catherine or St. Jago. You're like, okay, I guess that's where I'm going, to Tarrant Comprehensive. Because, when you go to Tarrant Primary, you don't pass common entrance. You're like, okay, you're going straight over to the comprehensive school. So it was in the evening. That was when someone said to me that, hold on, Pat, isn't this your name here? For Murgrove. It was a culture shock for me again. Going to Murgrove, because first day of orientation, I remember blurting out to my mother, so hold on, where are the boys? Because, the environment I'm coming from, you're coming from a co-ed school.
Yes.
All age school was co-ed, primary school was co-ed, and then you're now thrust into a different social demographic.
Yes.
that you know that I.
So how you related to the middle class girls? Who you
I was embarrassed.
Embarrassed.
I'm gonna be very
honest. You're embarrassed.
I was embarrassed from where I'm coming from.
Yes.
You're talking about girls whose parents are dropping them off to school in some high-end vehicles.
Yes.
You're talking about the type of shoes that they wear to school, whereas my first form shoes is the same shoes I wear in second form. You can't you can't afford.
Not like this lovely pair that you have, gorgeous. But,
so it was embarrassing. Summer holidays for them, they would go to like go away, or if we have trips at school, they can go to trips. I can't. So it was really embarrassing. You to the point where you don't even want friends to come over. So you don't want friends to spend the weekend with you, or you don't want friends to come and chill at your house for the day. For two reasons. You're embarrassed, about where where you live, and you really don't have a home because you're bouncing left, right, and center.
As you mentioned the bouncing thing, Patrice, there were times when you really had to kind of squat with some people.
Lived with my mom.
Yes.
Lived with my mom. Lived with my dad. Tried, the whole living arrangement with my dad. My dad, he's a wonderful father. He tried.
He didn't have dedication.
But, he didn't have dedication. So your education will limit you for what it is that you can provide for your kids.
Yes.
But he really tried, he really tried with us. Lived with him, couldn't stay with him because stepmom and I weren't we weren't seeing eye to eye. Tried living with families that weren't, that wasn't working out. Lived with school friends. Lived with school friends. I had a classmate, her mom literally took me in for one entire year. That was the year from fourth form going into fifth form, a part of fifth form. So lived with her for a year. And then after high school, I ended up back with my mom.
You told me of an experience. Was it one of the banks, one of the top banks that you had gone to?
I remembered, even into high school, back in my days. God, I'm getting old.
It's not long.
But, back in my days, when you left high school, or, you're about to leave high school, you started looking at the jobs that you want. Everybody wanted to work for the national airline, which is Air Jamaica. Or going to the banks as bank tellers. Those are the social jobs.
Pretty girls like yes.
Not pretty girl, but the jobs that, outside of being the regular lawyer, doctor, stuff like that. And I remember, wanted to be a bank teller. And I applied at BNS, did the interview, etc. at the bank. I don't know if I was not successful for not being not successful, for not meeting the criteria that they were looking for, or if it had to do with the address that was on my resume. And the reason why I said that is I remember when I was leaving the interview room, the interviewer, which was a manager then, looked at me and said to me, I like your spirit, so I'm going to give you a bit of advice. Going forward, when you're applying for jobs, do not use your CVU Gardens address. Use an address that, will represent where it is that you're going. And I was a bit taken back
what you said,
by what you said. My ears crushed because instantly I'm like, okay, clear them now, get the job.
Let's take the break at this point. Patrice Wilson-Mchugh is telling her experience, telling about her journey, having lived in a number of inner city communities, but now running her own successful group of companies. The country's first master mixologist. We'll tell you more about her when we come back from our first break.